All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and all glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders at the great millstone who taught me his truth, and much respect to the Akim out there laboring in his work. Peace and salutation to the hopefully elect who are scattered abroad across the four corners of the earth at the USA. Shalom. Hey, just want to go into a quick, short lesson through the Spirit of the Lord willing. It'll be edifying and also confident. So, basically what was on my spirit is just dealing with trials and tribulations that come our way, in which we have to understand as a body, the body of Yahweh Shai through the Spirit, is that the Lord brings these things upon us for a particular reason, a particular spiritual reason. Okay, so we have to have that type of mindset at the forefront when dealing with these fiery trials that are brought our way, because as we can see, the heat is being turned up. You know, it speaks about Yahweh Shai having that fan in his hand in which he's fanning the flames. Okay, and the reason why he's doing it is because he's trying to purge out unwanted qualities. So when these fiery trials come upon us, you know, it's literally a test, and it causes whatever is impure, those impurities that we have seeping deep inside our soul, to arise unto the surface, to be exposed. Okay, so that ultimately they can be identified and addressed. So you have to have that type of mindset, you know, when the Lord brings these certain calamities upon you, upon us. Okay, speaking to myself first and foremost, so that certain things can be worked on. And if you don't have that type of mindset, then you will become offended in the things that are brought upon you. Because at face value, just dealing with the flesh, being carnal minded, you will look at these things as being unfair. You know, why am I receiving this and I've been doing that? You know, why am I receiving unfair treatment? Well, ultimately, we know that the Most High is a just power. And this is all a part of being spiritual minded. We know that the Most High is a just power. So whatever is brought upon you, you have to understand that it's justly received. Okay? And that allow you to deal with these things, whether it may seem fair or unfair, okay, in a better manner, in the spirit. You see, you first and foremost acknowledging Yahweh Ba'Shem Shai, and then ultimately acknowledging your offense, even when you don't even know where you went off here, but you know that somewhere along the line, you sinned against your power. The Lord delights in that. That shows a contrite and humble spirit. And so he can work with that. But in the meantime, like I was saying, the Lord brings things upon us to bring out certain impurity. You got to understand, man, we head into the end, and the Lord is looking for more obedience. And so we've been put into situations to where we had to show more obedience. Okay? And it's literally just a trial, man. But if you're carnal minded, you won't look at it like that, and you'll become offended, and you'll feel like a victim. So 1 Peter 4:12, a beloved, thinking not strange concerning the fiery trial, which is to try you. See, which is to try you. Whatever you're going through is literally to try you, as though some strange thing happened unto you. Because you can feel within yourself also that, you know, ain't nobody going through what I'm going through. You can have that loner type spirit as far as affliction, like ain't nobody going through what you're going through, when there's another brother or sister going through the same thing that you're going through, and probably even worse. But guess what? They may be dealing with it on a more spiritual level than you are. So that has to be within your mind as well. Okay. So, in which every brother and sister has, you know, their own threshold, you know, but just throwing it out there. But anyway, again, it says, beloved, think ye not strange concerning the fiery trial, which is to try you. So let's click on this word, fiery trial, Strong G 4451. And we'll skip down to definition B, by a figure drawn from a refiner's fire. And we know that refiner is literally Yahweh Shai. Okay. It says calamities or trials that test the character. See that? Calamities or trials that test the character. The Lord wants to see how we're going to deal with certain situations. And, you know, when we pass certain tests, we see the growth from it. But when you don't pass the test, we don't grow, you know, we don't grow past that point. So we have to allow the fire to remain. We have to remain in the fire is what I'm trying to say, so that these impurities can be brought forth and be identified so that we can grow from these things in which the Lord is trying to purge us from. All right. So let's click on try, this word try. Strong G 3986. An experiment, attempt, trial, proven. You're being proved. Let's see. So right here, it says of the condition at the top, of the condition of things or a mental state by which we are enticed to sin or to lapse from the faith and holiness. See? So by you being put into certain conditions, it could be a financial situation. Someone could have had, you know, cheated with your wife. Your wife could have cheated or whatever, you know, some crazy stuff like that. You could have been wrongfully accused about something, and that could have caused you to lapse from the faith. It could have caused you to do something, you know, against the law. You know, it could have caused you to be out of order or anything. You know, it could cause you to offend as far as the faith. So that's what these trials are set up for. So it says adversity, affliction, trouble sent by the Most High, Yahweh Shai Shai, and serve to test or prove one's character, faith, and holiness. So keep this in mind whenever you're going through something. Just know that you are being tried. And the trials are getting heavier, you know. The Lord is digging deeper into our spirits and bringing certain things out that he wants to clean up. And you got to allow the Lord to do that. And that can be by the way of rebuke. It can be by the way of, you know, certain things that's happening to you, because, you know, it's through these fiery trials that we're able to sit down and reflect and ask the Lord to show us exactly what he wants us to fix or to do to please him. And one thing the Lord delights in is when you do catch hell, you ultimately you just apologize unto the Heavenly Father. You know, you say Salakia Yahweh Shai Shai, and then you ask the Lord for forgiveness, of course, you know, which is Salakia, and you ask the Lord to show you, you know, what he wants you to know or to fix whatever he doesn't like, which shows a sense of humility, it shows contriteness, and it shows meekness. All right, opposed to you getting offended at the things in which you're going through and trying to justify yourself by your flesh, not considering the fact that the Most High is bringing this upon you for a particular reason. See? So from now, I didn't have too many precepts. I want to make a quick lesson through the Spirit. So James 1 and 2, this might be the last one. So faith and endurance. Let's read this in the NLT. So dear brothers and sisters, when trouble comes your way, consider it an opportunity for great joy. For you know that when your faith is tested, your endurance has a chance to grow, right? Because the longer that you remain in that fire, all right, the more impurities come out, okay? And you're able to grow from that in the spirit, which makes you even more precious. So it says, so let it grow, for when your endurance is fully developed, you will be perfect and complete, needing nothing. All right. So we see what the Heavenly Father's task is concerning us, you know, and the reason why he's putting us through these fiery trials is so that we can obtain more endurance in the spirit to become even more obedient, you know. So let's get this real quick and we'll just close it out. Isaiah 48:10. So here it says, behold, I have refined thee, but not with silver. I have chosen thee in the furnace of affliction. You see that? Those fiery trials. So the Lord's going to bring fiery conditions upon you, man, to where it's going to be burning. Your chest going to be burning. You're going to feel wrong. And that's a perfect opportunity for your flesh to try to justify itself. But nah, man, you got to endure that and try to stick it out in meekness, you know. You got to learn how to take the low and let the Lord work, man. And then you'll find out the Lord's fruits, his reward after that. Let me see. I think I just left off from there. Yeah. James 1:4. Yeah. So we'll go back and read this again. James 1:4. But let patience have her perfect work, that you may be perfect and entire, wanting nothing. So you gotta let patience have its perfect work. Okay, which means that you gotta remain in these fiery trials, which means to suffer. Patience goes into suffering, man. You see? So keep this at the forefront of your mind when you're going through some shit. Always think about the Lord and what he's trying to do and what he's trying to tell you, because every situation is literally a learning experience, right? It ain't no random event that's happening to you, no strange event. Just evaluate it in the spirit, and the Lord will acknowledge it, man. So I just want to go through that real quick. So Lord willing, you were edified the next time I say